What's up everybody? Today we're going to talk about the rune set that's going to turn your monster into a blood-sucking demon from the bowels of hell. Is that where vampires come from? Well, they got something to do with hell. Anyway, let's talk about vampire runes. Why do we... Oh, Soha always! Get out of here, Soha! Get out of here. Let's put on someone that has vampire runes. Yeah. Alright, let's go see what vampire runes do, and let's talk about where we want to use them. Life drain plus 35%. Life drain plus 35%. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that when you do damage to an enemy, most of the time, not all, excludes some things, but you are going to absorb 35% of that damage as HP. Right? So if you do 10,000 damage to someone, you're going to absorb 3,500 damage back as good old HP. So let's talk about some of the common uses for vampire runes. The number one really is usually for farming as your farmer. So we can do let's go use hypnotic to raid level 5. Aw girl. So we're gonna take him into I kind of changed mine around, my Trevor. We're gonna take him and we're gonna use him as a farmer. He can do with vampire runes. The reason for that is you want at least enough sustain on your monster to be able to, if you cannot nuke everything really fast, you need enough sustain to be able to last while you're still battling a billion other monsters. So we can do this with Vampire Trevor. He's a really fun monster to use. This is the last stage in the game. This is the boss stage for this thing. So all he's on Vampire Nemesis. He's attack, crit damage, HP. He works fine. He works just fine attack or damage attack here, but there's a reason that I have him on HP on slot 6. I really want him to be tankier, and that's another thing with the vampire runes. Somewhat tankiness is one of the things you have to look for in a monster to put on vampire. So, for example, like Trevor can take multiple hits, especially if he's got HP. Oh no, we're not gonna get clean shotted actually, but if he's got high HP, his passive is going to stop him from taking a bunch of damage, right? So high HP, they're going to have to hit us and hit us and hit us and hit us and hit us. Maybe not that many times, but they're going to have to hit us multiple times to be able to kill us. So the Nemesis is going to trigger, and then we're going to get another turn. We're going to Vampire, we're going to heal our health back up. We're going to do a bunch of damage when we're low on HP too. So, very nice, Trevor, very nice. Ooh, a new best time. I didn't know that was a new best time, but okay. That works. That works. So he's one of the... let me show you guys the runes on Trevor. I changed him to attack, crit damage, HP, because I wanted him to at least survive long enough to take some hits. If he's too squishy, then he doesn't really need to get hit that hard before he dies. We want him to get hit. We want him to get hit, but we want him to survive a hit or two. So that's why I think somewhat tankiness is one of the things they have to look for in vampire monsters. So that's the first thing, is a farmer. But also keep in mind that you want a farmer that doesn't self-heal. Like for example, Soha is going to self-heal. She doesn't need vampire runes. Doesn't need that at all. She self-heals. She self-heals. It's only one skill it heals, but it does 100% of the inflicted damage as HP. And then she gets a shield on top of that, so she has really no reason to be on vampire. This girl as well, I know. Huahi needs a ton of... She needs so many skill ups, it's crazy. I don't know, I get like no Sky Dancers. I get Sky Dancers, but not enough to max these. Not like I get Purees. Purees, I get like a million Purees. Right, I get a million of those. But not Sky Dancers, no. Come to us as stingy with the Sky Dancers. We need to work a little bit more on our Huahi. But the point I was trying to make is she can be a good farmer, right? Multi-hit, get another turn if the enemy dies. Works based on her attack power, so her heal is based on her attack power. But we don't need Vampire because we have a heal on her already. What else is a nice farmer that's got a heal? We have this. You could argue that Vampire runes might not be bad if you're building... I think the key, though, is if you're building a hybrid Katarina that should be able to take a hit or two. Because she does... You can make her kind of like a hybrid, like... attack, crit damage, HP, like the same thing, because she's got really, really nice base HP. Really, really nice. But she is an attacker, right? She is an attacker. So you could actually, but she has a self-heal and invincibility. So as a farmer, she really does not need. She does way better with rage or fatal for damage and just making sure we kill them and getting our invincibility. This way we can go into the third skill and heal more because we do more damage. She doesn't need vampire, right? Any monster that has their own heal does not need vampire runes for being a farmer, right? And we have this guy. He's got his own heal as well, but he's really too squishy to really make use of vampire runes. We need, like, not tanky bruisers necessarily, not big HP tanks, but we need monsters that are tanky enough to take a couple hits and also dish out some significant damage. Okay. Some things that vampire does not work on are things like this. Damage proportion to the enemy's max HP consumes 10% of your HP. Okay, so when we do damage, I know you want it to work on TOA hard 100, but it's not gonna, Vampire's not gonna work on TOA hard 100. You're not gonna be able to heal yourself for tens of thousands of damage all in the one hit. The only thing that works with, that can heal themselves, no. For insane amount of damage, not even themselves, but this gravity shot, but it's not vampire runes. Deals damage to the target's max HP and heals all allies. This whole thing is a very unique situation where you can heal for literally 100,000 damage with this skill. When you're doing Hollow Water, you can heal for literally like hundreds of thousands of damage. It's ridiculous. So we got that. But aside from that, things like Sigmar's third skill, because I used to have, this is based on the enemy's max HP. This does not trigger vampire runes, right? It's just the thing, a lot of people maybe don't know that. I used to use vampire, this is, you want to make fun of Jubego. And I know my Sigmar's is not skilled up. But I used to use vampire on Sigmar's because he was my farmer, and Nick the Greek would be like, no, Jubego, no, it doesn't work with his third skill. And I'm like, I know, but I still like to use him as the farmer. And he's like, please stop doing that. Please, for the love of God, stop using Vampire and Sigmar's. It only works with 2 of his skills. And that is true. It only works with his first and second skill, because the third skill, nothing. Also, it's really nice to use Vampire. I would recommend monsters that have attacks. For all of their skills are attacks. So things like, for example, like he's actually on Vampire. He's on Vampire, he does Fame and Hell, he can farm Fame and Hell, and he just happens to have a good set of Vampire. We have attack, crit damage, attack on him. He's got these and these and these and these. We could get better, but he's pretty good for right now. Pretty good. You guys are like, man, I wish my Shiha was like that. But he can farm Fame and Hell perfectly fine. All 3 of his skills are attacks. None of them are based on enemy HP, so all of them will heal him. So he gets a lot of value out of vampire runes as well. Things like, for example, I don't know why I'm picking him, but we're going to pick him anyway because he's got this adrenaline skill. You get no benefit out of having him, I mean, aside from the fact that really he needs to be swift, you get no benefit out of him having vampire, because one of his skills, it's useless, right? Vampire is useless on this skill. So you get vampire, both vampire friendly, but this one, nothing. Nothing. Same thing with Malaka. Malaka's got bombs, right? He's got DB debuffs. You can't vampire with bombs. So you can't vampire with bombs, you can't vampire with continuous damage, you can only vampire with actual attacks. So things that have 3 skills, like another Spectra. The Spectra is probably one of the worst vampire monsters. Because this, it doesn't heal, right? This is not going to heal him. And then this does not even do damage. So he's only going to heal with the first skill if he's on Vampire. Yikes. Also, Vertiheal does not need Vampire because Vertiheal is already healing himself, right? He's got a self-heal on there. Let's see. Some people like to do... I know! Look at all these skill-ups I need on these monsters. But that happens when you build like 120 monsters or however many monsters I have. You can't skill them all up. You can't skill them all up. But a lot of people have been using her for Vampire, and I'll get to that right now. I have mine Violent Revenge, because I use her in Necropolis and also in raids. But a lot of people like to use her for raids as Vampire. this way. And when they do that, she's got pretty decent base defense. So when they do that, they try to stack a little bit of defense on her. This way she can do a bunch of damage and also take damage. Another thing is, with vampire units, defense is much better than HP. Like, if you have HP tanks, yeah, but they got so much HP that the damage they do is really an insignificant amount of heal based on how much HP in total they have. Whereas if you have a really defense-heavy monster that's going to take a lot of less damage, it's still like tanky enough to take a couple hits to kill, and you have vampire on it, it's going to stick around for a lot longer. You're going to get more value out of that. I mean, you can heal, like a defense-based unit that has vampire can heal for like half their HP, whereas an HP-based monster that has vampire is going to heal for like 10% of their HP. So you get a lot more value out of defense-based vampire units, with the exception of Ramagos, because he's going to do this clean shot, crazy damage. Now, some people are going to say that vampire is not good on Ramagos. They have very valid... I know I have mine on vampire. They have a very valid opinion, though. They have a very valid point. HP. What? Oh, I changed his runes around. That's why. What? So that's why my vampire... my Vampagos is a noob. But since he has his own heal, a lot of people will argue, and rightfully so, they have a very good point, that he should not be vampire. He should be violent nemesis is the best build for Ramagos. So they do have a point. I happen to have, I mean, who else am I going to put HP vampire runes on? There's not a lot of monsters that works good on, so I want to at least use those instead of how many, really, I mean, the number of monsters that I need HP violet runes for is Eladriel and Vanessa, and I need a lot more HP violet runes, and it contests it. You have to say, okay, maybe I'm not gonna put 5-star runes. I'll put better 6-star runes on if he's vampire, and we won't get as much out of the violent. But people like to use violent for Ramagos, even though a lot of vampire Ramagos is out there, because he just does so much damage. It's a straight 1-to-1 ratio of how much HP he's lost. He does the damage, and then he gets 3,000. Well, not 3,000. 35% of that damage back as HP. So, Vampire Ramagos likes to stick around long. Another monster that people like to use Vampire for, like I said, defense-based monsters, is this guy right here, is Mr. Copper. So one of my old guildmates, actually the old guild VP, he really doesn't play much. He plays like, he logs in once a month and plays. I don't even know. He's busy doing his own thing. But back in the beginning of the guild, in the early days of my guild, he was the VP, the VP of the guild, and he used a vampire Copper. So basically what it does, Copper never takes any damage, super tanky with defense, and he was farming, thank you, but no, he was farming Aiden Forest with him. I know Hypnotic, oh, different, oh no, it's still Hypnotic, okay. So he was farming, not the Hell one. He was farming this with a Vampire Copper, because the Vampire Copper is going to take no damage, no damage, no damage, no damage, super tanky defense, and then he's going to heal himself up to full every time he uses his third skill. So it's really nice, as long as there's no defense breaker. But that is a very reliable farmer, is a Vampire Copper. And who else are you going to use your defense Vampire runes for? I will tell you who else you're going to use them for. Actually, you could use them for... like we started to say about raids. We started to say Xingzi, not Xingzi. Also, that's not even the way you say it. It's Xingje, I think. I was trying to... Apparently I pronounced it wrong. But Xiaolin, which I'm still probably pronouncing wrong. It's probably Xiaolin. Probably is, isn't it? It's probably Xiaolin. So people like to use her for Vampire, for raids. They like to stack defense on her, I mentioned. Either in subs or on one of the slots, like slot 6 or whatever. You can do slot 2, it really doesn't matter. But they like to do that. Vampire and stacking nice defense on something and having Vampire on it work hand in hand. So we can do this. Also, they like to use... What's her face? This one, Ardella. Vampire Ardella is a one that people like to use. Ardella is very similar to... She's got a passive... not the same as Trevor, but she's got a similar passive to Trevor. Critical rate increased by 25%. Critical damage increases according to how much HP you've lost. So more damage based on how much HP you've lost. And then we have this... the attack power increases as... The attack power increases as the HP drops, basically. So very similar. Both vampire... You guys kind of get the idea. I would love to have her tankier. Right now she's on speed, crit damage, attack, but maybe we'll do. We don't have. I don't think we have. Where's the? Nah. If I had some defense on there, because if I had some defense on there, she would be pretty nice for the front line. Also dishes out a bunch of damage, but still, if I had like a defense with like attack and crit rate and speed and HP subs, that would be beautiful. Be beautiful. So those are some common ones for raids. Basically based on the passives, right? 2 attacks, so they're always gonna, whatever skill they use, they're always going to deal damage. Because they're just 2 attacks and a passive. Right? 2 attacks passive, 2 attacks passive. Ramagos doesn't need it as much. Copper's got 3 attacks, remember that. Let's see. Ooh, let's talk about some monsters that I don't have. Actually, blah blah blah. Here's another one. Well, let's talk about, wow, we did almost everything. Let's talk about some common 2 sets that go nice with Vampire. So I have Vampire Nemesis here. I have Vampire Nemesis here. That I think is the best one. Some people like to use Vampire Revenge because every time you revenge, you heal. That is also still nice. I just happen to prefer Nemesis. Also for Revenge, I like to use... If we're thinking about it, we have to see what monsters are contesting each other for the runes. So, Revenge, I could use a lot of different monsters on Revenge. I could use Revenge for Necropolis monsters, whereas Nemesis, not many monsters that use Nemesis may as well take the good Nemesis runes and stick them on the vampire monsters, instead of taking the good Revenge runes and sticking them on the vampire monsters, and then those monsters that I need for Violent Revenge for Necropolis, then putting crappier runes on, or for raids putting crappier runes on. But there's... Both of those are good. There's also the Blade ones. Blade is a nice 2 set that goes with Vampire, because the more damage you do, of course, you want to crit. Not necessarily on Ramagos, though. Not necessarily on him. But you want to crit. This way you do more damage. Basically, cut and dry, very simple. Blade, Nemesis, and Revenge. Those are usually the, let me see if there's anything else that work with Vampire. That work best with Vampire. Focus. Not really, because when you use Focus with a monster that has, like, crowd control or different debuffs. Usually those monsters are support monsters, they don't do a lot of damage. So, usually the Focus runes are not good for Vampire. Not good with Vampire. Destroy, not bad. Because you usually put Vampire on big damage dealers. Destroy works well on big damage dealers. Wouldn't be my first choice for Ramagos. I just wanted to put Destroy on something, and for what I was using him for, it kind of worked with Destroy. Let's see, what else? Guard, not really. Endure, not really. Those aren't the best. I mean, Guard, Endure, and Energy are just... They're meh. For Vampire anyway. They don't excite me. Even though I said that defense is good for Vampire, the guard is just, you can have an extra thing that your monster does instead of just getting an extra 15% defense. So it could, I mean, it's not the worst rune set in the world to put with Vampire, but there's just more fun things to stick on it that give you more chances to increase your attack gauge with Nemesis and then heal yourself up. Or Revenge and heal yourself up on every time Revenge. They just bring more value. Or Crit or Blade that does more damage, basically. Just makes your monster do more damage, heal more. So those are the most common ones. Let's say what else? Let's go over some other commonly runed vampire monsters. This one is kind of a new thing. This has been trending with Vampire Will, which is a weird thing. But he's been trending recently in Live Arena, which not too many people are doing, but the people that like to do Live Arena, that like to do it, They like to use Vampire Grogo. Now, what is the great thing about Vampire Grogo? He's a defense-based monster, does damage based on his defense. He takes 5 hits to kill, right? Every attack will not exceed 20% of the max HP, so you need to hit him 5 times. Well, when he's revenging, right? We got this. Yeah, stun and taunt. Beautiful. So I have mine on... What do I have mine on? Violent Revenge, I think I have my Grogo on. But when he's Vampire, when he hits, he steals health. That means you have to hit him another time. Right? Oh my god. Another time. I think they like to use Violent Will, but I like, I think Violent Will. Vampire Will. It's so weird to me to say Vampire Will. What a weird combination. But I like, Vampire Revenge, I think, for this, guys. Or Vampire Revenge, more so than Vampire Nemesis. You're not getting a lot out of Nemesis on this guy. Because it's not gonna do, they're not, every hit is not gonna do a lot of damage, right? So it's not gonna push, that Nemesis is not gonna get pushed up. So I think Revenge, because you gotta hit him a lot of times, I think Revenge shines on this guy. Vampire Revenge is, I think, in my opinion, the reason they like to do Will is so he can't get crowd controlled for the first thing, for the first attack. But I like Revenge on Grogo. But basically the idea is you just keep healing yourself up to full, and they have to hit you 5 times to kill you. You're gonna keep revenging if you're on Vampire Revenge, and keep healing yourself up and be like almost an invincible little tank of awesomeness. Yeah, don't you want to be a tank of awesomeness? And he's a defense-based monster, which is great. Works really great with vampire runes. All right, can we see some? I wonder. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Yep, vampire. Do not build him like that. Why? No, he's a defense-based. Oh my God, this guy. Someone yell at him. I don't even want to see anymore. I don't even want to see. No. Don't build him with attack. Don't build him with attack, please. Do not build your Grogo with attack. I don't know why that is a thing. That is not. Don't do that. Do not do that. He scales based on defense. But also remember that he does lose some because this is not an attack. This is not going to heal you. It's going to defense buff. It's going to increase your attack speed, and it's going to give you immunity against harmful effects. But it's not going to actually attack. This is the only attack. But the passive, it just makes up for it. The passive makes up for the fact that one of his skills is not an actual attack. But this is a really, really nice vampire unit. Let's see. Oh, here's some other good vampire units. All right, we're gonna see. Let's see. Where is he? This guy, Leica. Both Leica and Leo are good, and the other ones as well, but not Chow. So the reason I'm saying not Chow is because he already heals himself up. He doesn't need a vampire. Right, he already heals himself up. There's no reason for him to have Vampire. He's going to keep healing himself up with his passive. Vampire's kind of wasted on him. Violent will be a much better build than Vampire. But for Leica's got this. Channels Burning Rage to inflict great damage to the enemy. Damage increase according to the number of dead allies, which is nice for Vampire on Leica. And then we have Leo, which has increase your HP drops. If your HP is below 30%, the enemy's defense is ignored. Defense ignored, oh my goodness. So if you build a really, really tanky Leo, like HP crit damage HP, you're gonna be tanky enough to survive a bunch of hits. As soon as you start dropping that low, you're gonna ignore defense and do tremendous damage and heal yourself up as well. I wouldn't do defense on, he's got a really a nice HP pool. I would do HP crit damage HP for Leo, and then try to get, if you're gonna do Vampire Leo, defense in subs. Just overall good subs. Attack, crit damage, crit rate, speed. Not speed. Sorry. Force of habit. Attack, crit rate, crit damage, HP, defense. For subs. Just value subs, things that you can grind. For Leo, if you're gonna do a tanky Vampire Leo, because he could do some he can take some damage and then just heal himself up completely. I've seen tanky Leos solo so much crazy stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then we have the Leica as well. Maybe like a hybrid build for Leica as well. You could do HP crit damage HP, but I think I would do more. I would do like a hybrid for Leica. Yeah, and then I'll just do tremendous amounts of damage. And the thing with Leica is though that these monsters are pretty tanky. They can dish out damage and they can still take some hits as well. So as long as you build them somewhat of a hybrid in one way or the other, they're gonna be able to take hits and do damage. All right, but we said not Chow. Another one that works really well on Vampire. This is kind of the conundrum. This is kind of the dilemma though. He does have a heal, right? It's a small heal, but I see people that like to build him. He's a defense monster. I know his defense and attack are very similar to each other. They're very close. But we got this passive, gain immunity against increased... Oh my god, I can't even read. Immunity against inability effects, and your attack power increases 20% whenever your attack accumulates up to 10 times. I've seen some Wangs built with attack, crit damage, defense. Nice build for these guys. And used for raids, used for frontline, because they're just going to keep taking hits over and over and over again. And the more hits they take, it's kind of similar to Trevor. The more hits they take, the stronger they become, and then they dish out a whole bunch of damage and get healed right back up again. So Vampire, some hybrid. You need them to at least not be squishy. You need them to take a couple hits. That's I think one of the key components to a Vampire build is they need to be able to take a couple hits. So we have Trevor, we have Meiha Wang. I'm probably saying that wrong anyway, but I see. Should I even look? Best Wang. I bet you think you get the best Wang. Okay, Vampire, yeah. Attack crit. This is great. This is a great, okay. Crit rate, crit damage, speed, attack. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Crit rate, HP, defense, crit damage, crit rate, HP, attack. This is gorgeous. He's got nice defense, so he can still take hits. He's got nice HP. He's an overall well-rounded. This is a really, really nice Vampire Wang. Vampire Wang. I never thought I'd see the day where I said Vampire Wang. But that is actually, for once, there is something useful in the user rating. So if you see this guy, what's his name? Nerathul. He's level 40 still. He probably doesn't even play the game anymore. Fail. But that was actually a nice build for this guy. I know some people like to do him violent. And some people like to do the Dragon Knights violent too. It's up to personal preference, but if you're looking for things to stick those nice vampire runes, these are some of the monsters because they can take a couple hits and they can still dish out a bunch of damage. I think those are the key components. So we talked about, yeah, the Dragon Knights, Trevor, Copper, Grogo, Fire Monkey, Meiha Wang. I think that's good. There's some other monsters that I don't like on Vampire that some of you might think are good on Vampire. Let's see. And they're kind of the opposite of. We want them to do more damage when they're lower on HP. This girl throws numerous attacks to attack all enemies 6 times when used with full HP. So what you're thinking is Vampire sounds good on her because we want her to always have full HP. The problem is she'll get hit. And then, like, you really want a one-shot with her. You want to either fatal or rage. You want to do big damage. You want a one-shot with her. You don't want to. She's too squishy to be coming and going, taking some hits, and staying around for a while. This is the YOLO one-shot, one-kill. That's what you want to do with Julie. If she needs to survive long enough to actually have some sustain and vampire runes, you're probably not going to be doing very good in the battle. You're probably going to be losing the battle anyway. So also look at her base her defense. I mean, she's not 6-starred here. These are the numbers for the 5-star. We can take a look at the 6-star version. But we got 659 defense on Trevor, and then we have also Julie 439. There's a couple reasons. It's more for things that, not things where you need to do something with full HP, but for things that you need to do more with less HP. When you have less HP, you do more damage. That works really nice with vampire runes. Oh, goddamn. Same thing with Rabagos. Less HP, more damage. Vampire runes work nice on him. So hopefully that helps you guys understand some nice places to use vampire. We talked about monsters that have some sustain in them, some nice defense, some nice base HP, a little bit of a hybrid build, and monsters that do more damage the less HP they have. Nice. So that's the vampire runes. How to use vampire runes, guys. Yeah, let me know what you guys think below in the comments. There's some other, I know you probably have, like, oh, I like to use vampire on this, I like to use vampire on that. There's not a lot of monsters that would do very well with vampire here. I think I covered most of them. I tried vampire on this guy. I wasn't really too happy with it, but I was trying it out. Copper, great with vampire. I would not do vampire on Tashar. I know you're like thinking, oh, he's a farmer. Tashar is better with good speed and good crit rate and good crit damage and just a lot of damage, just nuking everything. You don't want him to sustain. If he's taking a long time to kill stuff, he's not doing a very good job of it. So you want him to kill stuff fast and ruthlessly and brutally, because look at his base HP is nothing. His base HP is actually closer to... Let's see, Bernard even has... Bernard has way more base HP. Let's see, what is Ardella? Yeah, look at that, 75, 75, 74, 10. He's got low base HP. And then he has... Even though Ardella could use some more defense, unfortunately. She's kind of got low defense compared to, like, Trevor, 659. So I gotta get some more defense on Ardella to use her better in raids. If I had more defense on her, I could put her in the front line, but it's hard. She's kind of got squishy defense. So she's got squishy defense, but she's got this passive. So as long as we get Nemesis on her, and as long as we don't die too fast, then we'll hopefully not be in too bad of a shape. But yeah, hope you guys got something out of this video. I think I just said the same thing 500,000 times, but I think it might help you guys decide who you want to do with vampire runes, yo. So take a look at some of the different defense-based monsters and think about, because you can do defense-based vampire units. It's not just all about attackers, right? It's not all about attackers. I would say attackers that can survive some hits, and also defense-based monsters are fun to use with vampire. And you probably wouldn't have thought that. But they're pretty, like, monsters that have something to do with defense are not that bad with vampire. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you as always in the next one.